It took the police over 6 years to be able to gather enough evidence to convict Michael Davis and Kaylee Driver for the murder of their own son, Ollie Davis, who was only a month old at the time of his murder.
I don't know, do you know that you have, like, the called vertebrae at the back?
Oh, yeah.
Each vertebrae is numbered, isn't it? And what we're told from the post-mortem is that let me get this right, the C4,
5, isn't it?
The C4 and 5 vertebrae have broke, effectively. They've come apart. Effectively your neck bones. Yeah, and if that happens, then 9 times out of 10 it will lead to death. And at this stage, that's how we think. I can't say we know, that's how we think Ollie has.
In multiple interviews from 2017 to 2020, they both denied any involvement in his death or understanding why he died.
I don't know how he's got that injury. Okay. Also up here, along here, is a bone called the collarbone. To give it its medical name, it's the clavicle. Okay, it's a bone up here, and that's also got a fracture in it. Do you know how? Can you account for how Ollie got that injury?
But detectives would continue to investigate, and in 2021 they were finally charged, and in 2024 they have finally been convicted of his murder. Emergency services were first called to the home in Upper Temple Walk, Leicester, after Ollie was found unresponsive in his cot on the 21st of October 2017. Ollie was rushed to hospital by the ambulance service, but despite their best efforts he was pronounced dead a short time later. There was no obvious signs of injury and any illness that could account for Ollie's death, and a few days later, following medical investigations of Ollie's body, the true extent of his injuries was uncovered. The post-mortem examination revealed Ollie had died from delayed effects of a broken neck, believed to have occurred up to 8 days before his death. The injury had led to the compression of the spinal cord, which caused him to stop breathing. It was also revealed that Ollie had a total of 40 bone fractures, including a fractured skull, collarbone, breaks to the joints in both arms and legs, and 23 rib fractures. Upon the discovery, the case was assigned to specialist detectives from the East Midlands Special Operations Unit and the Murder Investigation Team. Davis, who is now 29, and Driver, who was then 31, from Leicester, were initially arrested by police on the 27th of October 2017. They offered no plausible excuse or explanation for the injuries. What ensued was a lengthy and complex investigation that drew upon medical experts to go into a great level of detail of Ollie's injuries. It was established the fractures he sustained were non-accidental and must have been caused by serious physical abuse.
Ollie has died. His neck is broke. What do you think of that?
Don't know, we'll see. Not sure about obviously how it's happened really. Obviously put him down to sleep, he was fine. He seemed fine when he was sleeping. Wasn't acting any differently. Or just peaceful, nice.
Shoulder bone, which is called a clavicle.
Yeah.
It was fractured, i.e. broken.
Yeah.
And also his right humerus, which is his arm bone. This bone here. Yep. Fractured.
Yeah.
So we've got a fracture here, and we've got a fracture here.
Yeah.
Okay? It's been broken. Can you explain how that might have happened?
No, I've got any sort of idea of how it's happened or... No.
Is that a shock to you at all?
Yeah.
My first question to you is, how do you account for these injuries on Ollie?
I'm not really sure how he even got anything, because I didn't even know there was any of the injuries or anything, because he seemed fine, everything looked fine. Obviously when obviously he did fall asleep at around 3ish, obviously when I told you some of the policeman that came to the hospital, he seemed fine. He fell asleep. He looked normal.
The nature of the injuries was also revealed to have been caused by inflicting harm in different ways. This includes a number of blows to the head, an impact against a hard surface that caused a skull fracture, severe compression to the chest that caused rib fractures, and twisting of the limbs to have caused joint fractures, and the pulling of the neck to have caused the injury which ultimately killed Ollie. Alongside the investigation of the injuries by a number of medical specialists, police continued to interview Davis and driver, as well as other family members and key healthcare professionals. They both continued to deny any knowledge of what had happened, and in October 2021, after 4 years of gathering evidence, the pair were charged in connection with Ollie's death and causing a multitude of other injuries.
That has also got a fracture to it. And that the right side. So all these injuries I'm pointing to are on the right hand side. So the right arm, right collarbone and right femur. Okay?
Can't we? Because the only time I ever when I put him down, I put him down so smooth and I can't think of anything that could have done that.
Okay.
No.
Is there any way that you could have caused those injuries?
Really by rocking him but smoothly. That's the only. But no.
Have you ever dropped Ollie?
No.
By accident?
No.
Or has he ever fallen off the bed? Or has he fallen out of your arms?
Out of my arms or my bed, no.
Okay.
The only bed he'd ever really been on is George's. Because he catches the bus to work.
Have you ever seen him lose his temper with Ollie?
No.
Have you ever lost your temper with Ollie?
No.
Has anyone in that house ever lost a temper with Ollie?
Not that I've seen.
Has anyone in that house ever done anything to Ollie that isn't right?
No. Not that I've seen.
What have you seen?
No.
Okay. Has anyone done anything to Ollie in that house that could explain why he's got a fractured leg, fractured arm, fractured collarbone, a neck injury?
Not that I've seen.
And following a trial in March at Leicester Crown Court, Michael Davis was found guilty of Ollie's murder and 3 other offences. Ollie's mother, Kaylee Driver, was found guilty of 2 offences, causing or allowing the death of a child and causing or allowing a child to suffer physical harm. She was found not guilty of murder and not guilty of grievous bodily harm. DI Mark Parrish said, "Today's verdicts are the culmination of 6 years of police investigation and detailed medical examination by specialists. The determination and commitment from the investigation and prosecution team has been vital in achieving today's results." DC Batstone also added Davis and Driver have evaded justice since 2017 and they now will face a lengthy sentence for their crimes. And in the latest update to this story, the parents have been jailed for the catastrophic physical abuse that they inflicted on their own child. Michael Davis was jailed for 22 years, and this was for murder and 2 counts of grievous bodily harm with intent. Ollie's mother, Kaylee Driver, was sentenced to a total of 7 years after being found guilty of causing or allowing the death of her child and also allowing a child to suffer physical violence. Detective Inspector Mark Parrish went on to say that this was a complex investigation and we strive to get justice for Ollie. Ollie was a newborn baby who relied on his parents for everything that he needed and it was their duty to love and protect him. Instead they let him down, and due to the amount of injuries Ollie suffered, medical experts needed to examine those injuries, and it's taken more than 6 years for the investigation to come to court and for Ollie's parents to be held accountable.
October 2017, we were awakened to the sad news of Ollie's sudden death and concluded that it was probably a cot death. A day none of us will forget. After further examination by experts, we were horrified to find out there were suspicious circumstances regarding Ollie's death. The police arrested Kaylee and Michael for questioning. This shook the family to the core. Over time, the injuries were made public and we couldn't believe what we were being told. Ollie was perfect in every way when he was born. He had been beaten badly over time and was left to die with his injuries. This was our worst nightmare. How anybody could hurt a beautiful baby was beyond words. We felt sick to our stomachs, and we have shed many a tear thinking what Ollie went through in his final days. This has changed our family forever, and we suffer mentally with these evil actions.
So I thought this story was really important to highlight and it not to be forgotten as well. We definitely have to remember that he existed and obviously what he went through, and also to try to prevent this for other children in the future. Far too often we cover cases on the channel of children being neglected by their own parents, and it's down to other people to be aware of situations and to be able to report them before it gets out of hand. So really appreciate you joining me for this episode. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and follow on social media as well at Scarcity Studios. I'll be back again very shortly with some more news. Rest in peace to Ollie Davis.